So in this tutorial, I'm going to define a graph using LangGraph framework. So to define a graph, we need to create nodes and edges. And in LangGraph, we have two predefined nodes. One is known as start and another end that we can use in any graph, and intermediate graphs we have to define by ourselves. So intermediate nodes. So intermediate nodes are nothing but functions, and these Python functions are tagged with a name which becomes a node name. So I'll import graph start and end from LangGraph's graph package. Then we create a graph, like empty graph, and then I'm going to add a node which is actually, its name is do something, and the what this node will do, so it's accepting second argument as a lambda function, so which is a plain function that returns the same value as it accepts. So I want to keep it simple, so this is why the structure of node is going to be very simple. Now there are going to be two edges. One is for from start to this function do something, and another from do something to end. Now we'll do some basic stuff just to organize the things that we have added, like nodes and edges, and for that we do g.compile, and now we are going to see how the graph looks like. So it's a very simple graph. So you have start node, do something node, and end node. Do something will just accept some value and return the same. So if you actually invoke this graph with the function with the name state, it will return the same value, so nothing unusual to that. Now let's see if we want to, okay, so here I have just put all the code in one place. Now if we want to, let's say, extend our graph and add a new edge, then first we need to add a new node, and here what I'm doing is I'm adding a new node called greeting, and what it does, it accepts the value as an argument and then adds a word hello before that, so it's called the greeting node. And then we have to add two edges. Why two edges? Because if you look at our previous graph, so what we are going to split this edge into, like, from do something to greeting and from greeting to end. So that's what we have done here while adding a new edge. So we'll add a new edge from do something to greeting and one from start to do something. I've done it in a different order just to make sure that the order doesn't matter. The edges will be will be denoted by the node names. Now so here if you call let's say state with the value state, then it will append hello to that, and which will be done in the next node, which is greetings node. Okay, so I have added additional code for conditional branching. So let's say we want to decide at runtime which node we have to follow based on the value that is passed. So for that we can define a function called condition, and we can depending on the input we can decide which node to return, and the return node, so our edge that will define can be from starting node to either greeting node or end node, depending on which node is returned from this function. Now how we are going to use that? So we'll add a node called do something, which is the function which we defined earlier. We are going to add the same node greeting which we defined earlier. Now we will add one edge from start to do something, and from do something we'll decide whether we have to go to greeting or end, depending on what value we use in invoking this graph. So let's say if we invoke with start, then it will go to greeting, and otherwise for any other values it will just go to end. So we'll add a conditional edge from do something, and then instead of passing another node, we'll pass this function, which is condition function, and return value of this function, which is determined at runtime, will actually ensure where the flow of our graph goes. So now once you do that, then this is how the graph will look like. And if you call the graph with value start, then it will go to greeting, otherwise it will go to just end. So hello will not be added if you don't call it with a start. So that's how we can create simple graphs in LangGraph. Thanks.